Hi there, my name is Ana Cortez. I'm the author of the Playing Card Oracles and Oracle Alchemy. And today I want to share with you a technique for using the regular playing card deck as a natural calendar for prediction and for fun, for exploring the natural calendar. So I have a regular playing card deck in front of me. It's just a 52 card deck. There's no jokers. And all the cards are here because I want to make sure I have exactly 52. 52 is the magic number when it comes to calendar work and cards. That's why this method does not work with decks that don't have 52 cards like Lenormand or Tarot. This is a playing card technique. And playing cards are a wonderful tool for card reading, and I talk about how to interpret them and so forth in my book. But today we're just going to talk about how to use them as a calendar. So as your deck sits on the table, it's already in calendar form. You don't have to do any gymnastics to get it to represent a calendar. The 52 cards of the deck naturally represent the 52 weeks of the year. The 4 seasons of the year are naturally represented by the 4 suits. And the 13 weeks of each season are represented very naturally by the 13 cards of each suit, ace through king. So you see, it's really just making use of what's already there. So the way that I use this deck is the top card is the present time, or the present week specifically, since each card represents a week. And as I move downward in the deck, I'm moving farther and further away from the present time. Right? It sort of makes sense when you think of the present as the time that you can see, that you can touch, that's closest to you. That makes it the top card. And the bottom card is 52 weeks from the time that you're playing with your deck. It's a year away. So the deck is a 1-year calendar. So if I want to see what's going on right now in the present, and I'm using my deck as a calendar, I just take cards right off the top. That's to see what's right now. And really, you can use any spread that you like. I use a 4-card spread, and I'll show you as we talk about looking into the future. So what happens when we want to see what's going to happen down the road? We cut into the deck. We move into the calendar a bit further. So my technique is this. I shuffle the cards, right? I mix things up. I focus on my question, right? And I stop when I feel finished. Then I cut the deck one time. And I turn the card that was exposed by the cut, right? This was the bottom of the deck. This was the card that was exposed by cutting the deck. Then I mend the deck to how it was before the cut. Now I have the deck as it was before the cut with one card turned within it. There I come to it. So I have my calendar marked. And what I want to do is find out what date that is. So I start with the present time. So today when I'm filming this video, it's March 29th. So I'm going to count from the present time. So the way I do it is I take 4 cards off the deck at a time. And I count in piles of 4. Why? Because each card represents a week, and 4 cards represents 4 weeks, or a month of time. Actually, 28 days of time, which is a lunar month or a natural month. Then I stop when I get to my turned card. And I call this the cat card because it's like something significant happening. It's like a cat crossing your path. It stands out. And so it's my marker, my time marker. And then I continue laying out cards to see more about that time, right? Again, I use a 4-card layout. So if I was to count forward from today, March 29th, it would look something like this. This first pile of 4 takes me 28 days into the future, so I'm looking at basically the end of April with this pile, the end of May, end of June, end of July, August, September, plus 1 more week. So essentially I'm looking at the end of September when I cut this deck. Now, because these piles, guys, are just slightly short of regular calendar months, which are 30, 31 days usually, then as I move farther through my card calendar, I'm getting a little bit, tiny bit more and more off with the regular Gregorian calendar that we use as I move along. So I make up for that at the end. You can see I made that time adjustment with this layout. Instead of it being the end of September plus a week, I made it more or less the end of September. And I like to round dates off as I'm working. I don't try to be precise or pick out one particular day. Okay, cards are 1 week anyway, so you're talking about a 7-day fudge factor. And believe me, the clients will be thrilled if you can give them something very close to the mark. So let's do that again. I'm going to focus on my question, shuffle the deck. You know, if the client was with me, I would have them shuffle. And I stop intuitively when I feel finished. Then I focus on the question once again, sort of refocus my compass needle, and I cut into the deck, turn the card that was exposed by the cut, mend the deck, then I begin counting, right? And I usually use this time to educate the client just a wee bit. I just make conversation while I'm laying out my piles of 4. I say something like, you know, today we're using the 52 card deck in our reading. And the 52 card deck is a natural calendar. The 52 cards represent the 52 weeks of the year. And each pile that I'm laying out represents a month of time. And people love that. They love that, and they love getting dates. You can get a date in the future for pretty much any question. If people want to know what's going on in their relationship, you can say, okay, here's what's happening right now, but let's look into the future a little bit too, right? People really like that. So I use this spread a lot. And I can also turn over the cards in the first pile to see what's happening now, and then compare it with the cards in my last pile. Now let's get the date for this spread. Once again, today's March 29th. These first 4 cards take me to the end of April, right? That's the next month. This pile takes me to the end of May. I've got 3 cards left, sort of an odd numbered card here. I wasn't able to complete the next pile of 4. So I've got end of April, end of May, plus 3 weeks. Takes me to more or less the middle of June. Right? I just round it off like that. I leave it just a little bit open. And a lot of times the client will say something like, oh, wow, that's when we have a big reunion planned. Or, oh, wow, that's my husband's birthday. And always something happens around that time. Something like that. So you'll see as you pick these dates out that a lot of times they already have significance for the person you're reading for, and they're usually pretty amazed by that. So again, all this is outlined in my book, The Playing Card Oracles. There's a free PDF about this layout if you want to see little diagrams and things over at my website, anacortez.com. And I invite you to check out playing cards for card reading. They really are quite amazing in lots and lots of different ways. So thanks again for watching, and namaste.